Now, the next part of what I want to share with everybody, matches. Matches are a form of sulfur. Sulfur is considered a negative aspect with the flame. It's the negative. It's brimstone. Basically, what it is brimstone. And don't, if you can help it, don't be using matches in your circles. Use lighters if you've got them. Um, it leaves such a nasty smell. Like you've got everything set up and planned and ready to go, and you light a match, and it just completely kills the energy and the mood of what you're accomplishing. So that's something else I wanted to pass off to everybody. Now, when it comes to creating your spell, actually what you're physically asking for, I wrote down on a piece of paper. You should use red ink because red is a symbol of love. Red marker, red crayon, or something red that represents love to you. Write down what you're wanting from a relationship, or write down what you're asking. Try not to limit yourself to the energy. As an example would be like, I want John. He's hot. He makes lots of money. You don't want to do that because you're limiting yourself to the magic of what you could potentially truly have. Write down non-smoker, non-drinker, likes hanging out. Like you don't want to put a name to anything. You just want to describe the energy that you're looking for in the relationship. Don't go in and write down the stuff like, I want him to have black hair, I want him to have red hair. You should leave those areas open because I'm going to get into a little bit of a rant here because this really makes me upset when I hear about people doing this. People are in relationships for a reason. Okay, we are in relationships because we either have something to learn from that person or that person has something to learn from us. Whenever we have relationships that fall apart, we instantly blame ourselves. Oh my God, what did I do wrong? What if I could have done this better? If I could have cooked this better? If I could have did this better? We automatically go back into fetal position and go back and start trying to pinpoint back into the past what we did wrong to affect what's going on now. I want to share with all of you that when we incarnated to this planet, we are perfect spiritual beings in every way, shape, or form. We are divine creatures of light. We chose to be human because we want to learn what it's like to be human. And through being human, we have to experience what relationships are all about. We jump from relationship to relationship to relationship because we want to learn how being human works. We want to experience what it's like to be a mother, what it's like to be a father, what it's like to be a grandparent. We choose these lives so that we can learn and pass on our knowledge to other beings down the road. And you should never, ever blame yourself because you've been married for 10 or 15 years and all of a sudden your husband wants to divorce you. It's not your fault. It's not his fault. It just means that the energy that was there as a him and a you as a whole has now decided that, well, it's time to move on. And so the wholeness of the relationship needs to separate and go in separate directions so that it can find something else to learn about. You should never, ever blame yourself for what's happening in your relationships because it is a learning process. We learn from our relationships. Always try to keep that in mind, and you should never blame anybody. You should never ever blame yourself because there's always something bigger and better down the road that the universe has planned for us. We should never ever fight trying to swim upriver without a paddle when the universe is trying to help us along. So with that in mind, I wrote down, like, I've got actually I've got sigil magic and stuff on the back of it. So again, when you want to bring something to you, you could take whatever you wrote and you're going to fold it towards you. Then you're going to quarter turn, fold it towards you, corner turn, fold it towards you. So you're bringing that energy aspect to you. Or you could actually take it and think about what you just wrote and actually roll the energy. You roll the energy towards you in a forward direction towards your body. So this is exactly what I'm doing. So once that's been done, you can wrap it up in a ribbon and you actually roll the ribbon towards you and tie it up in a red ribbon. Other stuff that you can do is after you've folded it up in fours, you can tear it off. As the word's been folded in the four directions, you can actually break off all four pieces and actually pass them through each one of the elements and then burn it. You're incorporating the magic of the elements into your paper. Or the other thing that you can do for yourself is place your hands over the top of, say, the incense and visualize the incense collecting into your hand, and then you take your hand and you place over the paper and you incorporate that energy. You're asking that elemental to bless what you have here in front of it, and see the white light penetrate down through the paper and basically kind of ripple effect through the paper. You do each one of those with the water element, the fire element. The fire element, visual for me, volcanoes. Because volcanoes are destructive, volcanoes are creative. So, in a sense, I would see the volcano tearing down what I don't need in my life and rebuilding what I do need in my life. And I would actually put that image into the paper. Once that's done, I would fold it up, I would burn it, I would bury it, whatever I needed to do to help myself go along. What else can I share with everybody? Thinking. Your crystals. The same thing with your crystals. You want to charge your crystals, you want to visualize what you're asking and imprint that image of what you're asking out of your third eye and imprint it into the crystal. Always, always, always make sure that you say thank you to the elementals, thank you to the crystals, whatever energy beings that you're working with, always, always make it a point to say thank you to them, because they are doing their best to help you achieve what you're asking, and they're using their energies and their powers to help you get what you need. So always say thank you when you're working with stuff like this. What else can I share? Food. You could actually use food, incorporate foods in your spellcraft. Bananas are phallic, which is a representation of the god aspect. You can use strawberries. You can use anything. The Scott Cunningham Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, they have a lot of information in there on what food items are male and what food items are female. If you wanted to, you could create a whole gigantic plethora of having magical kitchen stuff with making dinner and plan out all your magical ingredients for your magical dinner and do your kitchen witchery and have a really nice beautiful dinner with some of the candles you've anointed, rose petals sprinkled around the table. You know, it's a euphoric smell whenever you smell roses. So oh, there's so much I think I've gone over. I'm sitting here trying to figure out if I've forgotten anything that and I'm yeah, we were going to talk about the the blessing after you got out of the bathtub. So I will talk about that here in just a couple of minutes.